Yeah, what up? Wait, what? Oh yeah, because it's not reset yet. Yeah, what up, Zephyr? Yeah, I saw your message about Isabel. That's kind of funny. She's quite good, actually, like, jokes aside about her personality. Huh. I probably won't keep my arena rank 1 for very long, though. I got actually kicked to 8th place, huh? That's gonna be... I'll have to recover that. You regret your pull? Doubt. A pilgrim's a pilgrim after all. I mean, Isabel, it is special. The Red Hood shield will help you though. Let's see, so what can I do in the meantime? Because server reset is in like 9 minutes-ish, right? I could try to fix some Mother Whale comps in the meantime. Mock battle for tier 5. Poor Rappy be confused, yeah indeed. I could try to fix some comps. Like this one's fine, it's these ones that are a problem. Shotgun is not that great here. Let's see. I could... Is Makima 20 seconds or is she... Makima is 20 seconds, okay. There's Jotaro in Honkai Star Rail, really? I'll have to check that. That sounds pretty fun. Is it worth it using Makima though? Maybe I should use Quincy actually. Add some of that healing. Pepper sounds like a horrible idea though, but... What could I use? I do need something that hits lots and lots, huh? The big blonde guy. The big blonde guy. In Honkai Star Rail, right? The big blonde guy. I can't... I can't remember who we were talking about. I could put an Alice in, but it sounds like a terrible idea. This is rough. This is rough to figure out. For now, let's put these... Oh, I could... Let's put these for now. Just let me think. So... This one's the minigun team. This one like has a lot of hits too. Jing Yuan has... Wait, is Jing Yuan blonde? I thought he had silver hair. Huh. I mean, it does kind of make me want to pull for him, but at the same time, like I just... Oh yeah, I have Guillotine on the other team, so that's not gonna work. Well, D here, but... Jing Yuan, eh? It's hard to tell. I thought he had like silverish hair or something. Like, let me think. I could put Vesti, but this sounds like such a shit comp. Jesus Christ. And Vesti does have like a bunch of hits on her burst, but she is a rocket launcher. Julia, maybe? Maybe I could put Julia, actually. Isn't Julia an assault rifle? Yes, she is an assault rifle. But Julia is not great. She's more of a buffer. Yeah, she is. I mean, I can't believe that it's hard to tell, though. But yeah, it's kind of cool that we have Jotaro, then. Although, if I had to say my personal favorite out of all of the JoJo Bizarre Adventures is probably part 2 with Joseph Joestar. I just freaking loved it. It was so much fun. Like, really amazing part 2. I think it was called Battle Tendency as well. Maybe I could go for this and this. It sounds like such a terrible idea though. Ainskew made a Rapunzel advice video. You get rejected if you ask her to stay with you. Yeah, of course she's gonna reject you. It's very well established that she's going to reject that offer instantly. Because she doesn't want to be in the arc. To me the answer, if one of the answers is ask Rapunzel if she wants to stay with you in the arc, to me it makes sense that she will immediately refuse, as much as she likes you. Like, immediately. Because she has her life purpose as well, like, it was kind of the point in the main story as well. She found her own purpose, that's kind of like why she became the way she is. I love this animation, by the way. Okay, let's get some parts damage in. Also, these burst actually does destroy a bunch of those bombs, funnily enough. Although maybe not enough. I wonder if this is a good idea though. Yeah, this was not a good idea. Yeah, everyone's dead. Maybe it could work. Outpost isn't exactly there. It kind of is the arc. It's like an extension of the arc. We're supposed to be semi-independent from the arc, but you know how trustworthy anything the arc tells us in general is. Like, let's be real here for a second. Like, they say they're gonna keep us independent from the central government, they're gonna offer us protection, and we see how that went with Marion, right? Okay, so we can probably get these down, and yeah, we got the shield down, okay. So it kind of works, but it kind of doesn't. So now every Raptor here is gonna get the freaking X amount of hits. Yeah, and everyone's gonna die. Yeah, the Raptors are just gonna swarm me. This is not gonna work. My Alice is not built enough to do this, to deal with this. And this team is probably not very good for Alice either. Yeah, this doesn't work. But yeah, the outpost isn't the arc per se, but like, how do I put it? Yeah, this team is not gonna fly. It's not the arc, but at the same time, it kind of is under the direct influence of the arc. So, and we're very, very close to the arc as well, because it is an outpost. It was a single pull, so it was a 0.4%. Yeah, it is a very lucky pull, in all fairness, like, genuinely. Let's try to see if I can. If the other teams also function, though, from Mother Whale 5. Like, I'm gonna have to reset and rethink of a strategy for that team in particular. But I like this burst animation. This team has a lot of healing. Yo, what up, Just Us? Like, this team has a lot of miniguns, so I hope can clear a lot of these things. Yeah, I broke the shield beforehand. Oh, zero the Just Us. And it has a lot of healing, so hopefully it will allow it to somewhat survive. Nope. Still got one tap. Gotta love it. And everyone's probably gonna die because the raptors are still up, so this is gonna do extra damage. Yep, there goes the entire cover. So yeah, this team is not gonna work either, for sure. Maybe too much minigun, for sure. Jojo sauce. Yeah, this team is not gonna fly. This team is not gonna work. I'll just take the death and see the rest of the teams though. Because maybe just by sheer accumulation of damage it will do something. But I'll have to just rethink the teams again. So that might be way too weak for this. Yeah, so this probably did like, yeah, same 8 mil or something. Yeah, 7 mil. Not really good. Ever heard of round meal? What? The date has refreshed. Oh yeah, okay. So now we got we got daily reset. So let's see. We claim these. Just gonna do the daily rounds real quick. Today is Moderna, isn't it? I think it's either Moderna or Chatterbox, isn't it? Because yesterday was the super evil blacksmith. Like, yeah, it is. Hey, we can kill Chatterbox now. Yoink, this is gonna be pretty straightforward. I could actually go Maxwell instead of Moderna for Chatterbox, couldn't I? Though Moderna I kind of like using because of the missile destruction. And my Moderna is more built up than... Okay, so for the first round, I'm actually not going to use Snow White Burst because from personal experience, if you're not using a punter, it's gonna aim for the middle one always. So yeah. That's the reason why I'm going for the Moderna Burst first, even though Snow White does way more damage. Because look, all those missiles are going for my Snow White right now. Piece of shit. He always does this. He does a smash, destroys the cover, and immediately goes for Snow White with the missiles. If you get enough stacks of the missiles, your character will die no matter what. So... And now he goes for Dorothy, okay. And now we say, fuck you, Shatterbox! I should be careful not to break that core though. Oh, come on. Okay, let's just use Shangri-La here. I love how it's a freaking recurrent theme in this channel that Moderna is always reloading at the most important timings. Some things just never change in here, don't they? Okay, so he's gonna target Snow White again. And fuck you, because I know the missiles are gonna go straight for Snow White again. Okay, there we go. Once I finish my Snow White shot, I should probably just straight up take control of Moderna to prevent this from happening again. So, we aim through the core to the back launcher, and we hit both. So that's one down, and that's two down. Ooh, that hit Snow White, huh? That ain't good. That might kill Snow White. It's fine because we have Shangri-La though. It is fine because we have Shangri-La. Well, that didn't break the foxhole. Need to be careful because I did deal a lot of damage to that core, so we might run into some issues. I may or may not have broken that core, which is not good. Yeah, I broke the core, but it's safe. Woo! Okay, so don't break the core, because if you pause a little bit back in the stream, like if you go a little bit back when he jumped back and was preparing his attack, you'll notice that instead of the usual thing that he does, his fists had a bunch of flames in it. Those flames means that you broke the core and he's about to do the biggest smash in the world. And basically murder all of your Nikkes. So that was a mistake. It did too much damage to the core. But whatever. This is fine. Well, the drops are not fine though. What the fuck is this? And abnormal again. Oh, that's painful. Those drops. Protein blast. Round meal is a meal that is able to feed up to 3 men. Okay, so kind of like the Mongolian traditional feast, right? Like the imperial feast, where you have like a lot of food on the table, kind of thing. Forgot the exact name of it. Yo, what up, Namida? Heal spray bullet. You just missed me fucking up. Give that to Snow White, yeah, indeed. Namida, you just missed me fucking up Chatterbox pretty pretty badly. The first run was not amazing, but the second run I fucked up majorly and broke the core, which meant that he was about to do the massive smash, and that would have been bad. That would have been very, very bad. Would have probably... Yeah, I'm not gonna dispel a buff though. None of these are useful, but... whatever. But yeah. Like, it's something that... I'm surprised at times that quite a few people don't know if you break the core of Chatterbox early, he will absolutely decimate your ass. So I've noticed, like, even some streamers that I watch occasionally that stream Nikke didn't seem to know about that for some reason. Not that far into the game. What's the minimum requirement for... for special interception, there is no... It's not that there's no minimum requirement, but special interception is kind of different. Nick... hi, by the way. Nice seeing you in the chat. So special interception, I'll show you once I'm done with this, but I'll say it verbally as well. Your level is locked. So the only things that will influence the strength of your Nikkes is your gear, your skill levels, your limit breaks, your cubes, and your bond levels. Similar to the video I made about, what's it called, about the Stormbringer challenge mode. So, CP, I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly like the CP requirement for it, because it's a lot about those details that also give you CP, but it's also about how you play it out. Because you can have... You'll just listen in? Oh, that's nice of you, Namida. You can have like a very, very powerful team and still lose at special interception. Level is locked. No, it's a good thing that level is locked, actually. The level is locked, which means that if you're under level 200, your characters will be upgraded to level 200 for special interception. If you're above level 200, you will be downgraded to level 200. But to unlock special individual interception, the SI version of it, you need to have beaten Cocytus, Cocytus was like chapter 16, I think, to unlock it. I believe it was chapter 16 or something like that. You'll know when you see it. It's basically Cocytus. But generally speaking, yeah, you're gonna get your ass handed early on because you don't have gear. But it will allow you to accumulate gear over time, and over time your Nikes will also gain, hopefully your Nikes will gain skill levels and all of that. So not having to worry about the levels is a very smart decision by the devs to make it kind of easier for people, because a lot of people also don't have, haven't broken the 160 wall, right? So it is a good thing. But like special individual interception is what will give you tier 9 gear. It's what will give you manufacturer gear, and it will give you also crystals to upgrade set manufacturer gear by overloading it. So here I can overload it and turn it into tier 10 gear, which is basically this gear over here. And tier 10 gear is what allows you to have like additional stats on the gear that makes them way stronger than tier 9 gear. There is a big caveat though for overload gear, is that it's locked to the character. So once you overload a piece of gear, it will be tied to that character for eternity. You cannot unequip it anymore. So for example, these pieces are stuck on Snow White forever. These two overloaded ones. But yeah, like special individual, you gotta focus on basically getting some of your Nikes stronger through skills and everything. You'll get there eventually, and it's a mix of CP, of course, in a sense. There's no real CP requirement marked, but it's more of your skills and everything will make your Nikes stronger, thus making it easier. And will allow you to meet some of the DPS checks easier, etc, etc. But you'll get there over time, right? Like, I don't know exactly how to explain it any further than this. If you have any questions, though, because I might not have been the clearest person on Earth on something that you have a specific doubt on special interception, feel free to ask, though, Nick, and I'll try to answer a little bit better than right now, at least. SP Arena is messed up for you? That's weird. What's messed up for you on Special Arena? Oh, don't worry. It's not the luxury of being a whale, by the way. Most of the... a lot of people full clear Special Interception completely free to play. Like, personally, I'm a spender, right? Like, what's it called? So, yes, I am technically a whale, but what a lot of people don't know, because this was before I started doing content creation, is that I was 100% free to play up until around when Modernia came out, or, well, not even when Modernia came out, actually, because I was still roughly free to play. I don't remember which one came out first, the Helm skin or the Modernia skin. And I was already, like, doing a lot of stuff back then. And even if I had kept going as free-to-play, I would have probably cleared Special Interception as well. Because again, the things that matter the most are, like, bond levels. Well, not even bond levels, it's like gear and skills are the things that will, and cubes are the things that will influence it the most. And then, as a bonus on top of that, limit breaks. So, limit breaks and bond levels that kind of come a little bit from that. Right? So, free to play, you can completely clear a Special Interception, by the way. Like, no question about it. You got Modernia yesterday? Oh, level her up. Modernia is top of the line waifu and a strong unit. Personally, my most stacked unit is Snow White, because that's the one that I enjoy the most, but Modernia is incredibly versatile. You should really consider investing in her. What I mean by the overload crystals and everything is what overload only kicks in once you start full clearing, right? But it will stack over time, and full clears will become easier and easier as you accumulate gear. Also, tier 9 gear will also drop from some stages later on as well, but that won't matter as much because you'll already be probably clearing fully special interception by then. Wooga Marion. Yeah. I don't know how far you're into the story, so maybe the fact that you have Modernia spoiled you a little bit of what's gonna happen in the future. But yeah, everyone was so hyped when Modernia was back. Like, you cannot believe it. It was amazing. Give me your daughter. You'll have to get through the shotguns first. You're at chapter 14, so you're in a pretty decent spot. Like, you just need to progress the story at your own pace. One thing that I tell my viewers very frequently is that Nikke is not a competition and it's not a race. Take your time, build up. It's kind of a long run type of game where you just do things step by step, you progress stuff. Where's Volume? Yo, what up, RKW? Volume. I don't know why people are so obsessed with her when there are so many other Nikkas as well, but here you go. I mean, if you don't enjoy Snow White's playstyle, that's fine. Like, Snow White is a very burst type of unit, right? With very specific playstyle. Yo, what up, Kazuma? Wow, a lot of new people in chat today, huh? RKW good cake. Yeah, she does look nice, for sure. Let's do... All of the people that are new here to the stream are just gonna get this little behind the scenes moment about my notifications. So we found one, and we're gonna do the good old paint routine. I feel so bad that I basically subject people to this routine, and then people realize that all the images that I use for the guides on where the relics are not the same size, have like random white lines and everything because I do everything by hand on paint. Okay, so we get 50 things, and there is a second relic. There is 2 relics today, huh? I believe I saw one. Maybe I didn't see proper. Oh, there it is. I think it is here. Yeah, it is here. Okay, that was easy today. Yeah, I play on PC. I'm gonna like, okay. Desktop, there we go. As you can see, this is PC, and by the way, the paint that I was referring to. There we go. This one is here. Did I paste it twice? Wait. Yeah, I pasted it twice on accident. Jeez. Yeah, I pasted it twice for some reason. I'm a silly goose. Yo, what up, Eric? Nice seeing you again. Let us listen to the song. Okay, I'll just shut up, I guess, then. There we go. So that's the 2 relics for today. This is how I do the community posts, by the way, for those who are new. Like, I always do this little paint thing. Okay, so this one is saved. Now I saved this one as well, and we'll be done with the little guide for today for the thingies. Good thing you have sharp eyes. You might regret having sharp eyes if you look at the images I usually post about it. Whoops, why did I? Okay, I accidentally opened my own stream on YouTube. Content creator, by the way. Let's go to the channel and let's just post the community thing and continue our merry way towards what is gonna be a very, very strong Stormbringer today. I actually dread how strong it's gonna be, because lately Stormbringer has been kicking some of my Nikke's ass. Okay, so we open these 2, double check that it's the correct images. Yep, it's the correct ones. Here are today's relics. Drop the stream. if you'd like. With a little smiley. And Nikke, and we fire this community post. And now we go get our asses kicked by Stormbringer. Oh boy, that's gonna be interesting. You think the Nikke OST has more in common with the Ace Combat OST? Really? First time making a pistol, I'm never making that one again. I mean, fair enough, right? I imagine. Oh, which one is it today? Oh, the bad ending of White Memory. Okay. Well, first let's do the White Memory though, because most of my viewers are lore nerds like me, because that's the type of content that I post. So let's just have some fun. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys ever noticed this little detail. If you see, Snow White will type on the tablet and the tablet will move actually. So this tablet is actually Snow White's tablet. I found that a pretty neat little detail that I never mentioned before. Let's go to the meadow. Snow White walks the field, sun rays, so we already know this part. Across the trees. So look at Lilyweise's coffin. So we get the next ending. Walking out of the post, Snow White says goodbye to everyone and sets off on a long journey. Snow White decides to go to Lilyweise's coffin, which she has not visited in a long time. There is something she must tell Lilyweiss before she leaves. With a heavy heart, she takes one step after another. Kicks accidentally something, the familiar piece of rock on the ground. It's a sharp corner on the coffin. Snow White lifts her head and looks at Lilyweiss. Her head is gone. What? In the shattered coffin, only her body remains. The white Lilyweiss flower has black scuff marks from being trampled on. Snow White searches her surroundings. It's gone. How can this be happening? Her face is gone. What? What is going on? No one will remember her this way. I haven't achieved anything. No way. I refuse to accept. What? Yo. What is that? Raptures. Look, they took away her head. I will exterminate them all. I have to fulfill her legacy, what she wished for. I hope we can save the humans. Snow White gets on her feet and walks forward. She will exterminate all raptures on the surface and recover the human world. Huh. Wait, is this a hallucination of hers because of PTSD, or did they really take her, or did the raptures really steal her head? Well, that's interesting. Wait, that probably means that either the raptures brought back the head of Lilyweiss to the Rapture Queen, or that something... Either Snow White is like hallucinating from PTSD, but the coffin broken and everything cannot be made up. So it means that the raptors found Lilyweiss's body and stole the head. Which is very peculiar, because we know that you need Lilith's body to kill, well, to distract long enough the Rapture Queen to kill her, right? That's something that Nihilister mentioned. Oh, that's a new one, huh? So they took the head. Well, that's interesting. Did they say which endings are canon? Mostly the true endings, as far as I know. Many of the normal endings are canon as well, right? It's mostly the bad endings that are like probably not canon. Some of them are actually canon, might be canon though, or maybe even all of them are canon, except maybe some of the hallucination ones. But yeah, maybe most of the. What if it wasn't the Raptures, and it would probably be a heretic? Yo, Rayman, what up? Nice to see you again in chat. That is... It is creepy indeed. So, the Raptures desecrated the grave, took the head, probably back to the Rapture Queen. Either because Raptures are too stupid to take the entire body, or because something prevented them from doing that. Or maybe they stole the head and... It's so weird. Oh, I need to do the story farm real quick. Oh, there's so many questions. I mean, you say, hey, mushrooms, but those endings were pretty sad by their own right. You vote stupid? I mean, it is true that basic raptors are not exactly the smartest cookies on Earth, right? Like, they're not the sharpest tools in the shed. So it is possible that they just took the head because they're kind of dumb as bricks. But it is interesting because if they took the head, they basically took Lilith's brain, so you kind of get the idea, right? This is interesting. Whew. Challenge 1-20. This is gonna be... I'm probably gonna fail this. If I'm being like perfectly honest with you all. I'm probably gonna fail this one. But yeah, this is so interesting. Like, there's so many questions now that I have. The Raptor stole Lilyweiss' head. We know that Lilyweiss dated the Legendary Commander. We know the Legendary Commander is MIA after an injury. We have strong hints that Lilyweiss might have become the Raptor Queen. Like, there's so many questions. Lilith's body, which is Lilyweiss' body basically, is needed to take out or at least distract the Raptor Queen. Which is why it's very strongly hinted that the Raptor Queen is indeed Lilith. Like, sniff for the head. Okay, this one we need to block it. We can just continue DPSing here, I think. The Thunder is not that big of a deal. Probably not gonna make it, actually. There's so much damage going out. Still 100 health bars to go. Jesus Christ. Wow. Dorothy might actually die. Oh, never mind. She didn't die. Someone will probably die. My helm is not healing enough for this. And now comes the Thunder right afterwards. This is gonna be a very intense one. Oh boy. Ooh, that's not good. Who is it going towards? Yeah, Helm is totally dead here. I need to push damage. Oh god, this is... Yeah, I'm not gonna make it. Oh lord. Yeah, I didn't make it. God damn. What if they took the head so they can revive her in a new body? That is actually a genuine possibility, Kazuma, actually. That is a very fair point. So maybe they took the head to revive her in a new heretic body. And because her mind might have already been transferred to the Raptor Queen, right? So that is a true possibility. How much time did I have left here? I still had 1 minute to go, so maybe... Cutting Helm really feels like a bad idea, though. But the healing output, I need something stronger. Let's retry with Rapunzel here. But Helm has... I feel like it's a mistake cutting Helm, to be honest. It really feels like a mistake to cut Helm. And it needs something to survive a little bit better. So one event gave you 2 LB3s and now you have 2 more SSRs LB2, 1 spare body. You might break the... Oh, nice! That is good. Breaking the 160 wall as soon as possible is good. So we don't have the parts damage anymore bonus from Helm. So this is... We do get to burst with Modernia though now, but I don't know how good of a thing that is. I should have probably left Rapunzel face tank that. Next pistol you'll make will be more like an M1. That sounds cool. Oh wow. Come on, stop reloading you. Okay, there we go. So much damage output though. Ooh, Modernia took quite a big hit there. Hopefully that won't bite me in the ass. Okay, we good. Next burst will probably be a Shangri-La though, because I do need the healing. Shangri-La here. Okay, so. Oh no. Oh no. Don't start failing the mechanic because... So let's push some damage here. Marin is probably gonna die. Yeah, Marin is dead. Should be manageable now. I'll get Shangri-La back eventually. As long as Rapunzel doesn't die to this. Okay, 8 seconds to Shangri-La. Yeah, I'm probably dead again. Oh no, the stun is going out. This is rough. Yeah, Rapunzel is down. Yeah, this is not gonna... This could work in theory. Can I iframe this? No, I cannot. Eesh. That is rough. Wow. Rapunzel did do quite a bit of healing, but... I was 255 by the end of it. Might have to push damage with Helm, actually. Dinner calls, you'll be right back. Okay, see you later then, Kazoma. It was nice having you. I could go leader instead of Dorothy, but then I'll be dropping this stupid amount of damage. And I'll be offloading it into Snow White, bursting a little bit later. Modernia is quite well. Maybe I should just retry with Rapunzel again. You might have set yourself up for the X777 banner. Oh, the Bunny Girl banner that they announced. Why is that? Had a family trip in Vegas. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna have to... Okay, we got that. This is rough. I'd rather they face tank the early beams, to be honest, rather than losing cover that early on. Because Rapunzel can heal it back up. Like, Rapunzel just lost her entire cover, so that's really bad. Okay, so that's 1 circle, that's 2 circles. It's 3 circles, and that's that. Okay. So I kinda need to push the damage. You won 150. Oh, that's nice. I had to Shangri-La there just to make sure Dorothy was safe for this part of the mechanics. Because if the Thunder targeted Dorothy, I would be in very bad shape. Wait, that circle. Oh. Okay, good thing Rapunzel. Oh, come on, Rapunzel, really? The beam killed her. This is gonna be so rough. We're gonna lose Snow White here as well. And Modernia. Okay, that's a reset. Ah, that's so unlucky. Oosh. Man, this is gonna be rough. I still feel like Helm would probably work better, but I'm surviving so much more and I do have the damage, technically. If you managed to pull both bunny girls, Nami, that owes you 50 bucks, really? You guys been betting behind the scenes of my stream? What do you mean I owe you 50 bucks too? I've never taken a gamble. I never take bets where I don't know the odds. And I almost never take bets in general. Yeah, we're playing gacha games, but that's different, right? I don't enjoy pure gambling, like just gambling for the sake of gambling. I play gacha games not really for the gacha, actually. I play it because I enjoy the characters, I enjoy the story, I enjoy the gameplay, you know, all of that stuff. Never really because of the gacha. A gacha is whatever. That's really bad. Probably, maybe I can get away not using Shangri-La here. As long as Rapunzel doesn't die to the machine guns or the thunder. Ooh, Rapunzel. Ooh, the laser beams now. Okay, I'll leverage some of that cover. I'll leverage some of the cover on Dorothy as well. Jeez. That is... This is intense! Trailing. Modernia, rip. The beams, really? Do I have cover to leverage? Maybe. Can I survive this though? I'll actually... so close. That was so close. We're playing gacha games, it's practically gambling. Yeah, I mean, like I said, at least it's banger boss music, that's true. I quite enjoy Stormbringer, like as a boss fight. I struggled quite a bit against Stormbringer in Chapter 18. That was so close. If I didn't do those couple of fuck-ups that I did, I probably would have actually killed it. So it's purely a skill issue for me right now. That is... You corrupted a child. You've been corrupting a lot of people in my chat lately, Zephyr. Maybe I should ban you. Is it worth to rush Guilty's rehab if you already have a build Senti? They kind of feel very different niches, right? Guilty is when you really want to push a lot of damage. Senti is when you need burst and maybe some survivability. I wouldn't rush it if I were you. If you really want to have Guilty as soon as possible and have more options, then yes, go for it. But otherwise, I'd say take your time. Unless you think you can leverage the gems, to be honest. Like, if you can afford to rush it and you feel like doing it, sure. But Guilty and Senti really feel very different niches. It's not really a one-to-one comparison. It's kind of like, you know, the whole Guilty Senti is the exact same debate you would have between Dorothy and Leader, actually. It's the exact same thing. It's almost the identical debate, as a matter of fact. Like, that entire debate is basically the exact same. It's like, what do you want to push, and what niche are you trying to fill? Ooh, those machine guns. There we go. Woo! Got it. You're spending your livestock on anime booba. You should play Nikke. You were offlane. Oh, you missed the full burst weekend. That's not good. Yeah, it is GG indeed. Woo! We got it. That was harsh. You spent every pull you got on Dorothy banner. Now you have her at limit break 3. I mean, yeah. Guilty would work then for you. Because essentially, like I said, it's the same thing is, like, for example, when people ask me about Dorothy versus Leader, is the same for Guilty versus Senti, is what are you trying to do? And they will serve different purposes, right? So if you want to rush Guilty, she will serve you quite well. She is amazing. Yeah. Ooh, that was 1-20 Stormbringer. That means that I'm probably not going to be able to kill 1-21. If it was this hard, take a break? Oof, yeah, I'm very hyped here. That was something else. Let's see, what am I missing here? Gift to Nikkes, advice Nikkes, enhance equipment. Okay, we can do that easily. Woo. Oh, you had too much. Oh, you meant Eric. Okay, never mind. I didn't follow the entire conversation. Fucking streamer brain. I swear to God, the more people are gonna watch my stream and listen to me talk, the more they're gonna believe that my brain is as smooth as a marble. And they're probably right, but I like to think that I'm not completely as dumb as bricks. Oh, that was a hard fight. So in this case, I used Rapunzel because I knew that my damage was high. It was going to be very tight, but that's why I decided to go for Rapunzel instead. Half of us are smooth brain. Yeah, we're all koalas in the end. We are all koalas in the end. It's probably why Australia is ahead of us. But yeah, like some rough explanation is I decided to pick Rapunzel for the constant healing because I knew my damage was enough. But if you're in a situation where you're constantly timing out and you have the option between Rapunzel and Helm, you probably are better off with Helm then. Even though it will be a little bit more annoying in terms of healing. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got the store back today. Yoink. So that's 250 gems for free, thank you very much. Bond tickets, I'll take them. Your entire supply, I'll take it. Even the abnormal ones, I'll take them. You pulled on HSR, worst pull as of yet? Yeah, go ahead. Did you see the new units have a buff when they're together? Yeah, that's pretty cool. I really like the fact that they're going for synergies as well as an option inside of Nikke. Now, some people might dislike it because it means that you have to pull for 2 SSRs instead. But I find it pretty cool. Like, imagine if they started adding like faction buffs as well. Like, for example, if you have all of the Nikkes from Absolute, you get something. That would be pretty cool to have something similar like in the future. Nothing but 4 and 3 stars. And 4 star is already decent enough, right? I'm not gonna... Should I? Yeah, I will. Actually, I will. Let's get some additional credits. But yeah. Like, it's pretty cool that they get a buff when they're together. Now, how strong that buff is, I hope that they don't nerf the units based on the fact that they're buffing each other, right? Because then it would mean that they're unusable individually, and that would be really bad design. But yeah, like, I quite like that idea of like faction buffs, Nikkes buffing each other, etc. Some stuff you already have, I mean, better than nothing. I don't even... Yeah, it was a 10 pull, so you're guaranteed to have a 4 star, right? So yeah, it is probably like... If you had like 1 4 star and then everything else 3 star, you basically got a main roll. Who are we advising today? Of course, we're always advising Dorothy. Let's also give her a little gift. And another gift. And let's get into advising her. 2% or 5% doesn't have to be much. What's your impression of the arc? I'm interested to hear your perspective. It definitely has its flaws. Definitely has its flaws. I wonder if it's the... It's probably a bad answer. Yeah, it was probably a bad answer. She'd be jealous because of your Riz. Yeah, it was a bad answer, because if you say that that is a good place to live, it probably will make her feel like her sacrifice may or may not have been a little bit more worth it, right? So that was a mistake on my part. I always go into these blind for those who are new here, so... How am I able to advise Dorothy past rank 30? Okay, this is a very good question. Nikkes get more bond ranks based on their limit break. Regular Nikkes like Helm here can only go up to 30. But Pilgrims are special. They can go up to 40 instead, so they get like an extra chunk of stats on top of that. That's what makes also Pilgrims quite strong, is that you get some bonuses additionally to the fact that they're already strong baseline. Right? So they get the chunk of stats of 10 additional bond levels. Because of it. Let's advise Horan as well. Follower, who is the fairest of them all? I'm always so tempted to press Snow White here. I'm always like controlling myself, like controlling the urge to press Snow White. But the answer is you. She's such a character. Horan is such a character. Like, do it? Nah. I do want to get Horan to Bond 40. Once I'm like at Bond 39, I might start actually memeing around with her Bond things. Let's do some Sakura as well for the purpose of train. Curious, what do you look for in a partner? With grace and sang-froid. Yes, indeed. She just realized that it basically describes her to a T. You got Rupee today from High Quality Mold. Is she good besides being a TikToker? She's amazing. I have not built Rupee myself. Let me show you though. She's got great hair. Rupee will bankrupt you. I mean, she pays for her own stuff in all fairness, but let me show you. Like, Rupee as a Burst 2 character is really good. Because her skills are pretty good, right? So she gets stack counts that give the mileage counts, which give crit, attack, and also deals quite a bit of damage. And also another attack bonus here. So 15 seconds and 5 seconds here. So she basically buffs all of your allies while also dealing quite a bit of damage. And she's an attacker Nikke, so she does quite a bit of damage. On top of being assault rifle. So you pulled a really good Nikke there. She's actually one of the better Burst 2 units you can get. She's voiced by Marin Kitagawa. Oh, really? By the voice actress. So yeah, Rupee is quite good. Mine is not very built because I got my Rupee very late. So I had already, like, my original Burst 2 slot for SSRs was Dola. And then I got Senti. I got quite a few Sentis actually. It happened quite a bit. And then after that, Guilty became my default one because I like pushing damage. But Rupee is quite good, both Rupee and Viper. Oh, in English, yeah, Amelie voices both of them, that's true. But yeah, Rupee is really, really good. She's like one of those Burst 2 Nikkes where if you want to push damage while also buffing your own units, she is really good. Very, very good Nikke. So, I don't know which Burst 2 you used to use, Nick, but she's amongst the top picks for Burst 2, right? She's one of the top picks for Burst 2. A lot of people use her in very high level content. Like, I actually considered building Rupee in preparation for Nihilister, but then I got Guilty. I went for Guilty first, so Guilty kind of took that spot for Nihilister. Yeah, no problem. You're sticking with Ennis? Yeah, that's fine. Like, let me put some stuff into perspective as well, right? Nikke is the kind of game where if you're patient enough, you will clear everything using whatever the fuck you want. But the key thing is you have to be patient because just like any game, there is a meta, but you can kind of not go meta if you want to, right? Can I get some points onto Ebony? Yeah, I can get some points into Ebony. Actually, I want to get some bond levels on Ebony. Commander, if I were to manage to reclaim the surface, how would you feel? Huh. Not sure how I'd feel. Oh, that was a bad answer. God damn it. Oh well, at least it leveled up a bomb. I can probably give her a ticket, right? Yeah, I can give her a ticket. Maybe it's a bad idea to give her a ticket. I'll save the tickets for the bunny girls. No problem for the info though. Before my scatterbrain just went over, right? I don't know if you're still here because in my chat visualizer it just says the numbers fluctuate. But there is a guy that cleared all of available content back when Nihilister was the final boss, using Mihara Burst Tree as his main DPS. And there is a guy that cleared basically chapter 16 and 17 using only the mass-produced Nikes. I think he cleared like chapter 16 and was progressing on chapter 17 last time I checked, but that was a while back, so he probably cleared chapter 17 as well. And he was using only the mass-produced Nikes, so that means all of these. And that's all he had been using, the mass-produced Nikes. So technically you can just use whatever you want. You wasted all of your tickets on Snow White. It's not a waste, like Snow White is a solid investment, right? Let's go back to advice though. Maxwell, for sure she needs an advice. Leader was your first ever gold Nikke. Never took her of your team. Yeah, she's an amazing Nikke to have. The cover recovery is irreplaceable at the moment, unless you want to go Biscuit, but then that means that you have to put 2 burst 2 Nikkes, right? So you could go like Poly Biscuit or something. But yeah, like she's an amazing Nikke. She used to be basically the undisputed top of the meta for burst 1. Do you have any unusual sleeping habit, tossing, turning, etc.? No. Need to put you on anesthetics. I won't have to waste too much on you. God damn it. Freaking... she basically pulled a does this rag smell of chloroform to you. She basically pulled a does this rag smell of chloroform to you. God damn. But yeah, you can basically clear with whatever you want, and Leader is an amazing Nikke to have for sure. Snow White 0.03% chance. Yeah, I got my Snow White from the Pilgrim molds, by the way. My first Pilgrim mold was Snow White, and then everything else since then has been mass-produced Nikkes. So yeah, unfortunate. I ever told you how innocent you are? Is that a compliment? Viper being Viper as usual. Being innocent in her eyes has double meaning. And it's not always a good meaning. Should I give her... I could give her a ticket, because the upcoming Nikkes are from Tetra. So I can afford to give her a ticket. And let's advise her as well. How did I get Bunny Girl so early? This is not early at all. Like, you just do the dailies every day and you basically get her. You're talking about the Bunny Girl Viper, right? Or are you just taking... Yeah, you're taking the piss because of the Bunny Girls that are coming around. Okay, gotcha. Another smooth brain moment for me. Gotcha. It'd be awkward telling you about it. I love this one. What kind of dream could possibly be? And then Private just got full speed ahead, freaking... She's so quick to assume stuff, it's amazing. Like, I don't know if you guys... like, who of you has seen the dream that the commander had with that included Rapunzel, Private and Yen, and Isabel? There is a random encounter that involves you having a very specific dream that involves those 4. Noir is better Tsundere? Is Noir a Tsundere though? We'll have to see, because she didn't give me a Tsundere feel. Should I advise Noise? I think my Noise is strong enough, to be honest. Maybe I should advise something else. I mean, Helm for sure is going to get an advice session. Yeah, that dream was crazy. You have Yen, but it's a wet dream? Yeah. That dream is really funny. What's really funny as well is that if Belorta and the other Nika, I forgot her name, decide to do that as a prank, it would actually happen for real, and there's nothing the commander could do. Well, basically us, the commanders, could do about it unfolding exactly that way, which is hilarious to me. What do you think about noble causes that are doomed to fail? Is it a meaningless, or is it basically she's kind of worried about her whole admiralty and the fact that she has a ship, but it's kind of useless at the moment. And basically was looking for comfort here. Those pranksters are a menace. Yeah, they're absolute fucking menaces. It's Belorta and Mika, these two. These two are absolute fucking menaces. And if they pull that prank for real, like if they do that where they send those notes to those specific Nikkes, and it happens in that specific order of arrival, you're fucked. There's absolutely nothing you can do to prevent that dream from unfolding exactly that way. Which is really funny. Just accept our fate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man got sucked right. Oh, there is a very funny random encounter as well where that involves Haran, Vesti, and freaking and Viper. That one as well is pretty funny, where Haran feeds you a love potion. And the love potion is so strong that even looking at a pebble makes you almost fall in love with the pebble. Made me laugh quite a bit. Let's advise Sugar for last. Name a Niken no one uses in later game. If I had to name a few Nikes that people don't really use in the late game, it would be mostly, except like there are some people that still use them, right? Because technically you could use them still. If you gear them up enough and you play around them enough, you could use almost any Nikke in late game. But the most common Nikkes that people stop using are basically Solin, Crow, who else? I'll have to check the Wikipedia. Keep things cordial with your scout mates. I mean, the air ranks, yeah, technically you shouldn't use them late in the game because they're just crutches, right? Like the air rank Nikkes are basically crutches to help you get through the tribe tower and stuff like that. Because you have enough R Nikkes to get to start all the tribe towers except Pilgrim, right? But if I had to say, Brid is one that you don't really use late game anymore. Late game, you don't use Crow that much. Julia is in a bad spot as well. Mary is another one. In PvE content, Emma doesn't shine that much because most of the stuff one taps you, so she basically has one less passive. Who else? But she shines a lot in PvP, so genuinely Shift Up should not touch her because she's way too strong in PvP already. At least at the moment. Yeah, those are like some of the ones that I can think of the top of my head, right? Yunhua is used in Tribe Tower, but that's because it's Tribe Tower and there's very few burst 2 options for Elysian, right? Like for Elysian, these are your only burst 2 options, and some of them have long cooldowns like Poli, so Yunhua ends up being used in late game. But it's only because of that, otherwise she probably wouldn't see much usage either. Who else? Not that many that I can think of, actually. Product 23 is good for PvP. Yeah, I mean, Product 23 also got popularity. You love advising Drake even though she is max because you love her so much. It really is Kalisha in your part. I mean, if you love her that much, that's fair enough. Drake is amazing as well as Anike. Both personality, design, and even gameplay. Like, she's really good. She's really, really good. Let's see, let's do a quick round of equipment and continue doing the dailies though. But yeah, like, Diesel fans are Hutao fans. Yeah, I guess so. This is so painful to see. Like, now I have 3 manufacturer gears on freaking abnormal on power alone. That's so painful to watch every time. And then there's Makima that also has like And then there's Epinal that has a random freaking thing. And 3 on Makima as well. Like, it hurts my soul every time. Solene is gonna get tier 9 gear, I guess, today. So is Rappy. Who else is getting tier 9 gear? Oh. One of the two menaces. One of the two menaces is getting a helmet. I don't know if you guys play Azure Lane, but by the way, the person who voices this character is the same person that voices Intrepid in Azure Lane. So yeah, that is an interesting fact. Rappy best girl. I mean, I would have agreed with you to some extent. She is really high up there for sure. She also did quite well in the popularity poll, didn't she? I probably don't want to increase that overload gear. Maybe I should increase Maxwell's gear or Helm's gear or something. I'll increase Maxwell gear a little bit. There is a guy in SP Arena that used Product 23 and destroyed you in 2 seconds. Yeah, I mean, Burst Gen is very important in SP Arena, right? Like, it is quite important. That's why Jackal is so good in SP Arena. That guy is the final boss. I mean, it is pretty impressive to use a mass-produced Nikke in SP Arena and get away with it. Not gonna lie. Like, that is actually very impressive. I also saw a post a while back of someone that was starting to accumulate manufacturer gear on on Product 23 in honor of Pine and was thinking of overloading it. And everyone was telling him like, no, don't. It's such a waste to overload gear on this, on blue Nikkes. If Rappy somehow should be nicknamed Red Hood Rappy. Yeah, that is true. Like, it would be pretty interesting to get a Red Hood Rappy for sure. Let's just beat Day's ass this time around. Hopefully I can beat him, because I think he changed his squad again. I think he changed his squad yet again, so that's gonna be annoying. So Taiwan finally got... It's kind of funny, the Taiwan server got their announcement for Blanc just now. But yeah, it's kind of funny that Delta is signals thing. They probably will put Red Hood Rappy for sure. Waifu over meta, you always appreciate those people. Yeah, exactly. Like it's respect worthy if you go waifu over meta and you're not being an asshole about it, right? Let's put it that way. Because there are some waifu over meta people that I've met over the years of playing gacha games that probably shouldn't be playing waifu over meta. I'll be honest with y'all. Japanese voice acting, you never know what is going on unless you look. Or you learned a little bit of Japanese and you can understand what they're saying, right? But yeah. I recommend to those who really want to follow like Nikke news and have like leaks and everything to follow the different social medias of the different Nikke servers. Because for example, one of the Nikkes was leaked accidentally by the Taiwanese server, like way before the announcements were supposed to happen. Like they just leaked everything because they released that information accidentally. So those who are following the Taiwan server Nikke information got a nice little surprise for that specific Nikke. SP Arena isn't working for you, it crashes or connection failures. Huh. Do you live far away from the server that you're playing in? Or do you have like other games on? Like for example, you have Honkai Star Rail active at the same time as Nikke or working in the background? Or maybe is your antivirus kind of messing with the anti-cheat system? Because those are like the most common reasons why that happens. Makima is such a pain in the ass in Arena. God damn it. I hate Makima in Arena so much. You don't? That's weird. They got the burst before because of Senti. Unfortunate. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this one. I need to recalibrate my teams a little bit. Because I can actually win against this guy. Funnily enough, I can actually win against this guy. Mobile. Oh, you play on mobile. Huh. Might be a connection issue. Like, it might be your phone that is having an issue. Because a lot of the issues that people tell me about, I've basically almost never had as long as I play on PC. What server am I on? I'm on global. I can actually win against this guy. I can actually win. It looks like a 3-0, but actually it was very close. Can actually win against him. Just need to figure a way to deal with the Makima, and I'll probably get his spot at some point. Which would probably make my life a lot easier to keep my ranking. Makima and Diesel on SP Arena. If Diesel burst, it's over. Yeah, that's true. Like, I need to rework my arena teams a little bit, because I made those teams quite a long time ago with the help of one of my union members. One of my union members was like, yeah, show me what you have, I'll try to help you with Special Arena, because he's very competitive in Special Arena. He's always like rank 1 or rank 2 in Special Arena. He always hovers around there in a pretty competitive server. Shout out to Rosso RY for that from my union. What server am I on? I'm on global. Still get infinite loading times, quite annoying, but that's so weird. I'm on global, Jossas, if you're curious. I can show you in a bit once I'm done with the arena rounds. Like, I can show you guys like my profile, so that you guys can, I don't know, add me if you want. I'll see if I have space or not. Dang, you're on NA? That feels bad, man. Rookie Arena is something else, though. Because SP Arena is by server clusters, it's still kind of competitive. But when it comes to my own server for freaking Rookie Arena, I don't care anymore who I'm fighting, because I just don't gain points anymore, no matter what I do. You had global recommended for you? Yo, what up? Welcome back, Kazuma. Global is basically the European servers, FR. So if you're in Southeast Asia, for example, or in North America, then you're gonna get connection issues one way or another, probably. If you had global recommended to you, it means that your connection towards an European server is good enough, I guess. But it could be a thing, right? Because ping is inevitable if you're far away from the server. Like, look, even if I fight MRT, who is the rank 2, I probably will barely win anything. What did you miss? I don't know if you were still there during the Stormbringer fight, but I beat Stormbringer 1-20. And after that, we just chatted some lore, some advice sessions, and now doing arena real quick. Is it safe for you to change servers without losing anything? No, each server has its own thing. So if you're on global and you go on NA, you will basically be on a brand new account. But then you can go back to your global and you'll still have your original global account. So for example, I've played on the NA server for the sole purpose of preparing a video about the welcome back cinematic when you're away from the game for too long, because I play Nikki on the daily. I will never get that cinematic if I don't do that. Your Rookie Arena is 3 of you fighting for the top 3. You should saving those tickets in case they add something useful. I just buy the... I accumulate tickets so quickly that I just don't care anymore, to be honest, but that is fair enough. At some point, I just don't know what to do with those tickets, so maybe I should hoard them as well. Oh, Shice, you're gonna have to suffer ping in Europe? I mean, there's a lot of... I've played on other servers, right, to play with some people. And other people from other servers have played with me, even though like they live in Japan and whatnot, and it's still fine. It's just as long as you have a good stable internet, you should be fine. Like don't get me wrong, right? But yeah, if you start on a different server, you will get a different account basically on that specific server. Let's see, 118 versus. I can probably bid this, right? You downloaded Nikke during pre-registration. Yeah, kind of like me then. I downloaded the pre-registration Nikke, and I only started playing a little bit before No Caller ID happened. Because for whatever reason, I just forgot that I had it. I should probably rework this team. A buffed up private AoE is gonna be funny to watch though. You're a better player, and global was the only option. That's weird. That is weird. I haven't touched this tribe tower in a while because of the freaking annoyance that is that are these raptors specifically. Like this floor is really obnoxious to deal with, especially if you're under level or under geared. That's why I've been putting it on standby. There we go. I actually got it. Your game is bugged out, so now all the outcomes are just Exia with question. Yeah, that is the default you fail to load or bugged out the game thing when you have everything as an Exia. Yikes. Never played beta, but you heard Solin was cracked on beta. You started on Chainsaw Man collab, okay. It's kind of interesting how many people that collab actually brought for as much as people shat on it. Because a lot of people, even on my chat and on my comments and everything, a lot of people started around Chainsaw Man or a little bit before Chainsaw Man. Because one of my most popular videos back when I first started content creation was actually me fighting Gatekeeper. And a lot of people were asking me for help on that video. You started playing 15 days ago, Jesus Christ. You chose a really good time to start though. Half anniversary is the best time to start. Okay, I really need to kill that one specifically really quickly. Though the small ones are gonna be problematic. I'm holding those four bullets intentionally because of Private E's passive, by the way. You really want to empty your clip every time you shoot with the Private E, or as much as humanly possible. You really don't want to reload before you empty your clip on Private E. There we go. You started close to the end of the Sakura event, okay. Now, sometimes your Nikke just shadow clone themselves in the bond page. Oh, that is a current bug, yeah. I've never experienced that one either, but it is a bug that they're planning on fixing. The devs already know about that one. You see them ties? I mean, a lot of people are pretty happy with that bug, by the way. So Zephyr, yeah, Zephyr was in chapter 15. I remember that. Zephyr is getting pretty close to unlocking Special Interception, I think. The SI version of it. It's a very funny bug. Kamshin is probably one of your favorite tracks in this game. Oh yeah. And the Harvester one is so good as well. But my absolute favorite is Nihilister Part 2. If I had to say that one. But there are so many good tracks. Like for me really it's Nihilister Part 2. I love that song so much. I was vibing the entire time I was trying to beat Nihilister in chapter 20. Okay, I need to clear these as quickly as possible. Fix the bug where Rappi doesn't have voice lines after Bond 10. I've never had that, but then again, I play in Japanese, so I've never had that issue. Ah, the kamikazes. No, the kamikazes. Oh. Ah, I lost. Yeah, that's bad. Okay, let's buff Private. Where did he go? Okay, there he is. Oh, that was bad. Yeah, that's a reset. Material H is your favorite boss team? Material H, you're gonna encounter him again in the tower and in other places, so don't be too disappointed about that. The Private has no voice lines bug. I've never encountered that. So weird. Gonna save the Private full burst for now. There we go. To just clear those flyers. Okay, there we go. And we saw Private's passive pop there. The reason why that thing died so quickly is because I emptied the entire clip. If you empty the entire clip, Private does a little bonus. Rappi's VA didn't give out affectionate voice lines. I'm really confused about this whole Private has no voice lines on Bond 10. Material H has solo raid, Jesus Christ, that would be insane. What up, Fate Nero, by the way? Your Rappi doesn't say anything. You guys have to be playing in English then, because I don't have that issue in Japanese. Your favorite is Train Track? Oh yeah, Alstein. Thomas the Doom Engine, as we call him over here. Your most hated is Bowtie. He's just so annoying. Yeah. For me, I like Alstein, funnily enough. What really annoys me is how overtuned he is in Special Interception. Because you have to do so many shenanigans to get through that one. Makima does help against Bowtie. Bowtie is just... I don't want to call him a not very well designed boss, but he can be pretty obnoxious. For me, the most annoying boss so far has been Mother Whale, though, but that's just personally because the Nikas that I built are very poor matchup against Mother Whale type bosses. Although I gotta say Bowtie is, yeah. He's just annoying. He's just an annoyance. He doesn't do anything. He's just a pure annoyance, Bowtie. Like, genuinely. It's like, what's it called? The Doctor as well. Like, the Doctor is not a super fun boss. He's just a general annoyance. Yeah, exactly. A taunt also helps. I mean, any taunt helps against Bowtie. But yeah, like, it's like the Doctor. It's like they're just plain annoying more than anything. Okay, so we collected those. See if we can buy some extra core dust in the shop. We can. That's nice. You would rather fight an OP enemy than a... Yeah, exactly. Like, I would much rather fight a very difficult boss that is maybe overtuned, like Alstein, over a just straight up annoying boss. Because at least I feel like it's a skill issue, right? Let's see. I think I did everything that could be done for this. The JP and Langley don't have any high bond affection. They're either waiting till the end of the full story. Really? Because I'm pretty sure that I have different voice lines on Rappy and JP. Pretty sure about that. Complete, complete, and complete. And we don't get a thing today, huh? I just enjoy clicking this thing for some reason. Don't mind me. I just find it funny. But it also shows that this is probably a piece of Rapture core, by the way. Like the things that we shoot at. You? My theory is that that's actually a Rapture core, by the way. Like a piece of it. Like what is inside of it, at the very least. Because it kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Like, keep in mind what that eye looked, and I'm gonna show you something. Bosses, best gameplay, Train, best intro, Chatterbox, best cinematic, Material H, best at getting you, Rage Quit, Gravedigger. Gravedigger is really obnoxious, for sure. The fidget spinner is just straight annoying. Still looks like an eye, yeah. Yeah, like, Gravedigger is one of those. Like, look. It kind of looks like what would be inside of the core, right? It kind of looks like it's what would be at the center of the core once you, like, break it. Best OST. Yeah, Land Eater has a very cinematic OST. I really like it. So we're at 5.2k. 5.2k. We're gonna open these and see how much we get. Oh, we're gonna get a lot of it. Right, because I beat a very difficult boss to get these. Wait, did I get 85 for beating 1-20? Wow. Okay, 1.36. So now I'm at 6.6. Okay, 6.6 plus... Okay, so yeah, I do have enough. Okay. I might want to open a couple of money crates, though. Okay, let's open a couple of money crates just to be on the safe side. Kind of like Bionicles. Yeah, in a sense. There is a lot of lore about raptors that kind of shows that they're part organic one way or another. I'll show it as I go to level my synchro device. But it is quite interesting because chapter 20 and 21 have some relics that give you some additional lore on raptors and the early raptors. And it's also related to Mother Whale. The fact that raptors used to eat organic stuff, for example. So now we're gonna level up to 219. Nice. That's pretty pog. Levels are mostly useless on Nikke, but I mean, except in main story and maybe Mother Whale solo raid, but it's always nice to see it go up. You do find Nihilister very annoying, especially that you don't need leader actually. Funnily enough, you actually don't need a leader. It will make the fight easier, but you don't need her per se. I know a lot of people that beat Nihilister without using leader because they just didn't have her. But yeah. You're too young to know what Bionicle is. Bionicle is part of my 30, unfortunately. So you're basically the same age as me. I'm turning 30 this year. Oh wait, this is not what I was planning on opening. You go into the Lost Relics from chapter 20 and chapter 21. And you have the Rapture Anomaly Report. So you have a commander that had his teammates wiped out and that is injured. And he's basically trying his best to survive, right? And he sees a group of animals go around. And then he sees a rapture that is about to die because it's heavily injured from the battle. But then he noticed something, is that the rapture got up and started eating the animals to repair itself and to kind of like sustain itself. Ever had Lego? Yeah, Legos, well, Bionicles was part of Lego, wasn't it? Matanui line, ooh. But yeah, like, this specific commander in his Rapture Anomaly report basically reports that raptors were eating the wild animals. And raptors used to collect humans and animals and anything they could find to sustain themselves, up until they evolved enough to not need that type of sustenance anymore, basically. After feasting, the raptor stood up, seemingly rejuvenated. This defies all common sense, and he's very surprised about this. Is that a commander and Somnik is coming this way? No. And then it is feeding, so why does a raptor need to feed? And then he comes to realize that raptors may not be as dumb as bricks as people gave them credit to be as well. They may actually he may have discovered basically that raptors are sentient, and we kind of know that thanks to Reptilian. Yeah, to some degree they're kind of like animals themselves. You gotta view raptors as some sort of mix between some sort of technology and biological things that work kind of like a hive mind. My personal theory is that raptors are basically kind of like similar to a hive mind, and what is in the cores is what allows them to communicate kind of like a hive mind and communicate with heretics and communicate with the Raptor Queen. And my personal theory is that that thing that is inside of the cores and allows them to function as a hive mind is also what Nymph is made out of. That is injected into Nikes to kind of mind control them into not being able to kill humans and all of the stuff that we know about Nymph. Because I've mentioned this a couple of times, but the last time someone in lore that we know of tried to research what was inside of Raptor cores in relationship to Nymph was Forest Fairy. And Forest Fairy sends you on a side mission. All of this is canon. To get a Raptor core, to study it to see if it has any relationship to Nymph. And right as he was about to give you the results, Perilous Siege got to him. And he basically disappeared. Your theory is that that raptor was Chatterbox, and eventually, after eating, it started to learn. Yeah, that is a possibility, because the relic does mention that he saw the raptor smiling. So we'll go back to the relic and I'll show this piece of text. What makes Chatterbox? They do seem to share some design with sea animals as well, that is true. We have jellyfish raptors, we have whale raptors, we have like a lot of sea-themed raptors, right? So if I go back to the relics, right, and I go back to the raptor anomaly, it is feeding, etc. And then it says that thing is smiling. I know it is. It's starting to transform. Something popped out. It's changing. What is that thing? So it's basically evolving. I'll try to get the last relic to see what the last thing is. To see if the theory about the thing. But raptors are seemingly capable of evolving over time. Some, at least, like over iterations of themselves. And when that commander says that, whoops, I did not mean to press that. What am I doing? When that commander is Land Eater is mirrored at Turtles, but there are sea turtles as well, so that kind of works as well. When that commander says that that raptor is smiling, it is true that one of the first things that you think of when you talk about a raptor that looks like it's smiling is this little guy. Like, look at that. Doesn't he have like a... He has a smile that could be used in toothpaste commercials, doesn't he? They evolved to animals because they were eating animals as fuel source. That is a possibility. But they have also been stated to have evolved enough to not need animals as fuel anymore. Land Eater is 100% a Metal Gear, yeah, that's why, yeah. Chatterbox didn't know about Vaphouse, but we bluffed our way for him to keep us alive. What reason did he have beside plot demand? He kind of let us live because I believe it was because of Modernia. Or because he knew something from the Ark. Like he had some information. Because remember that Chatterbox was in communication with Enic at the time, right? Like Chatterbox was communicating with Enic at the time, so he had intel about the Ark and about stuff, most likely one way or another. Let's see. Because he did seem to think that we had something special in us from pretty early on. And he wanted to bring us to a heretic to basically show off the fact that he brought something useful, right? Chatterbox freaked you out a little bit when he showed in the story. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's another theory there, right? Probably because either she didn't find it relevant enough, and there's also the other thing that needs to be said about our status in the Ark is that we are being protected in the shadows by someone or somebody, because our blood type is not known by anybody in the Ark, except Anderson. Like, nobody knows our blood type in the Ark except Anderson. And Anderson didn't seem to know about us up until we came back from that mission where Marion died, right? If he was talking to Enic, would have been completely useless. Yes and no. We can go back to when we first meet Chatterbox, which is during... was it during Enlightenment? I think it was during Enlightenment. Codename Chatterbox, I believe. Was it code... Or was it during the Wonderland thing, like when we were reunited with Snow White? I'm trying to remember which chapter it was when Chatterbox kidnaps us, and we have to bluff our way through. Was it chapter 4? No, chapter 4 was with Absolute when we were when we first encountered them, after we get swarmed by thingies, right? Garrulous Talker, maybe? Let's see. He ripped his own arm, we know that. Mihara gets taken down. I don't think it was in this one. His mouse creepily. He recognized, like, look, see? He has way more information than we give him credit for. He knows who Red Hood is, and he knows about us enough to think that we're valuable to be brought back, right? So he knows way more than he's given credit for. Just from that cutscene alone, I don't even need to go to the other cutscene. Like, just from that cutscene alone, we know that Chatterbox knows way, way, way more than we give him credit to. Because he recognized on sight that Rappy was Red Hood. Just on sight. Which is something even Rapunzel and the others weren't capable of deducing. He deduced that Rappy was Red Hood. Whereas Rapunzel and the rest of the Goddess Squad have not realized that secret yet. So he has way, way, way more information than we actually think. And basically enough to be able to know that. He's got intel somehow. And if it's intel related to the Ark, his point of contact is Enic. Because Enic made a bargain with Chatterbox to keep the Ark safe, because Chatterbox knew where the Ark was at. Now, how Chatterbox managed to recognize us as someone valuable is something that is a big question mark to me, because it opens up quite a few theories, right? It opens a theory that we're related to the Legendary Commander, it opens a theory that we're a clone of the Legendary Commander, or it opens a theory as well that we're actually the Legendary Commander that got experimented on to be kept alive, and that's why we have the model memories and whatnot. Like, there's like multiple theories about those type of things. So that is... He recognized that Rappy was Red Hood on sight, and he recognized that we had value one way or another to be brought back, probably related to Vapaos. He probably knew about one way or another that there was a high chance that we had Vapaos in our blood, Unchained I mean, and wanted to bring us back. which is very interesting when it comes to like how does he know so much and where did he get that info from? Because Nikke is pretty cohesive as a story in general. We have 1 day and 22 hours left. I'm gonna still clear stage 4 because I don't feel like pushing stage 5 at the moment. So maybe tomorrow during the day I'll experiment more. Just clear stage 4 again for today. Because Mother Whale is a very, very poor matchup for me, to be honest, in terms of what I've... is a very poor matchup for what I have built personally. Because Snow White is very one-shot, one-kill, right? As a character. But yeah, Chatterbox definitely has some form of intel one way or another. Yep, that's the core down. So, if you kill the core, the Raptors don't get buffed anymore. And they don't get the X amount of hits to be taken out. So you can just manually kill them. So you can just do this and it just clears all of the Raptors, right? So that is one thing to keep in mind about Mother Whale. Is that if you break the core, you don't have to deal with that part of the BS where the Raptors are buffed to living shit and take X amount of hits to be taken out. And if you break the pods, you make life easier for yourself even more. Okay, I'm gonna abuse the Pierce here to get rid of one of the Raptors just for survivability reasons. Otherwise, I would have been aiming for a triple hit on the pods. Because these Raptors, once they finish shooting, they disappear. So now we're gonna use Maxwell's Burst to do basically the same thing. Still don't have the angles completely down for triple hitting, but that's the rough idea. Commander didn't ask. I'm not that surprised because he probably has a very different way of thinking than Johan. Because part of what makes us kind of like appreciated by a lot of people around us is that we still keep our humanity. Right. Here, if you don't kill the Raptors in time, this laser beam will do a lot of damage. That is something to keep in mind as well. So here we're gonna get again the whole nonsense shootout. I didn't clip the body though, that's kind of a shame. If I had clipped the body I would have done probably more damage to it. Him knowing the commander is important doesn't sit right with him. With you. For him knowing Red Hood in Rappi, but he's killed countless humans before and all of a sudden Protag Kun is important. That's why I say he's probably got like very relevant information to know that we're important, right? That's why I'm saying it's very suspicious that he knows it. And it is known inside of... Oh, it's because of storms that you have connection issues. Okay, fair enough. Like, it is known inside of the Ark by a very select few people that we have special blood since very long ago. Because our blood has been kept secret even from us, right? So that is something that is known. How far back Anderson knew about it is something that I'm very curious about personally. Because Anderson seemed to completely act from the get-go like he didn't know about us at all. And he even sent us on literal suicide missions intentionally. And that is mentioned inside of the lore of the story, that we have been sent on multiple literal suicide missions by the Ark, and some of which were by basically Anderson and Ingrid. It is basically stated that we got sent on suicide missions. And that's Mother Whale 4 down. Okay. Maybe I should have actually gone for Mother Whale 5 then, because maybe the upgrades that I got today pushed me a little bit further because of Snow White's scaling. Oh well, whatever. I don't want to mold too much today, so... There we go. You still think Elysian CEO cares about us too? She does care about us in her own militaristic way, that is true. But you gotta also remember that she cares about us in a very militaristic way. Because we're useful, because we bring profits in terms of actual military achievements and everything. She cares about us because of that, and she does care about us on a personal level to some extent later on. With the Marion episode where she basically helps us, you know, recover Marion and everything. But again, I do feel like she does do it to some extent because it benefits the Ark. Although I will say the fact that she sided with us instead of with Birmingham is interesting and shows that she does care about us on a personal level as well. But for the most part, I do still feel like she cares about us, mostly because we're useful. Which is fine, like, not everything has to be like pure love and we don't have to, you know, date Ingrid or something. Like, it's fine. Not all characters have to just love us unconditionally. But you gotta remember that she literally sent us as well on suicide missions very early on. She punches you in a lot. That's why I like her a lot as well. Like, this is something that I can appreciate as well in Nick, is that some of the characters either don't need to be redeemed and either don't just love us because we're the protagonist. They basically take interest in us because we're useful and they want to create a kind of mutually beneficial relationship kind of thing. Maybe she's working with someone that isn't a full central government, like that is possible. But she's definitely not working with someone who is allied with us, because otherwise she would have known not to send us on a suicide mission. Right. Like, she would have definitely known. Let's see. What about Viper and Exotic Squad? I don't feel they need to be redeemed. What they can do is something similar to Dorothy. What up, Kudasachi? Nice seeing you again, by the way. Like, from my perspective, is like, you don't need to redeem Crow to have her be a good character. She can still be the terrorist that killed Solene, that caused the death of Breed, that killed Diesel's little brother, and that also killed Diesel and basically made them all Nikes with her terrorist attacks. She can still be like this type of character, but also have some additional depth to it by revealing more stuff and by revealing her point of view and by revealing reasons why we should work with her in spite of how much of a terrible person she is. Kind of similar to Dorothy, actually, because a lot of people seem to forget that initially, a lot of people hated Dorothy just as much as Crow. A lot of people despised Dorothy with a passion as much as Crow when we first met her. Because in the main story, Dorothy literally used this as live bait with the purpose of basically making the fight very easy for her team, possibly getting us killed or getting a few of our Nikes killed and getting us severely injured, and having the squad, Inherit squad, save us, make us use the Vapaus because we're desperate, and then make us feel in debt to them so that she can then later on use that favor to make use of us as pawns. So you gotta remember that she did that to us. But then Overzone happened, gave a bunch of additional death to Dorothy, and now she's basically a fan favorite for a lot of people. Like, you don't need to redeem Dorothy. She still despises the Ark with a passion. She will still murder people from the Ark if she gets a chance to. And she's still very manipulative. But now we have access to another facet of her that makes us understand her motivations a little better. You gotta remember that Crow, before she was a Nikke, she was implied to be the leader of Heavenly Ascension, the terrorist group. But what this also means is that she was born in the Outer Rim as a human. And you guys have seen enough events and enough side stories and enough stuff about the Outer Rim to know that there are a billion reasons why she would despise the Ark so much that she would turn to terrorism and try to kill even innocent civilians if needed be, to force the Ark to listen to their demands about stopping the treatment that the Outer Rim is getting, right? Because the Outer Rim is in a very desperate situation inside of the story of Nikke. So it's all about perspective, and characters don't always need to be redeemed or have like their little... I don't know how to put it. That's my opinion, right, on the whole thing. Exotic is a very interesting case. Depending on how they manage the whole exotic thing in future events or in future stories and stuff like that, we may get a very well written, morally great character like kind of Dorothy in a sense. I'm done with these dailies and everything. So I'm gonna do a little bit of campaign hard mode pushing as well. If you guys have any questions, any stuff, or anything you guys want to chat about, that's fine as well. Also, Kazuma, thanks for the sub. I appreciate the support. Every sub counts. X777 will have us go to a casino. Yeah, it is very implied that it's going to be a casino event. It's probably be a more light-hearted event though. Yeah, I appreciate it. Like, I'm a super tiny as fuck channel, so genuinely every single sub counts. So I really appreciate it. Probably a corrupt casino. May or may not be a corrupt casino. It may also be a very light-hearted chapter as well, with some dark undertones here and there. Because that casino is 100% managed by Mustang, one way or another. Now, I've personally voiced my suspicions about Mustang multiple times, but that's an entirely different matter. Okay, we're gonna kill all the small ones. And there we go. We're going to Piece of Mustang, that's gonna be interesting. About Lilith Head, do you think the Queen is second Nikke that a human created after Lilith? I feel the Rapture Queen may have been an incomplete Nikke, or rather an incomplete heretic that took control of the entire hive mind that is the Raptures. And then by Lilith sacrificing herself and basically transferring herself to the Rapture Queen, she kind of took a little bit more control of the hive mind to make it more cohesive. And the Raptors probably took the head to complete the transformation or something. I might be overthinking it. For some reason, Mustang is always the one not caring at all about humanity. No, he cares about humanity a lot, and he cares very little about Nikkes, to some extent. Mustang is Armstrong 2.0. There he is. Welcome back, Namida. But yeah, like, there is a lot of theories that we can make about this whole Lilith Head situation, because I don't know how far into the story you are, Kudosachi, like, what chapters are you roughly in terms of the story progression? Just so that I know if I am spoiling anything accidentally, because I really don't want to create spoilers on stuff that could make you enjoy the story more if you weren't spoiled, right? Part of the reason why I personally, for example, avoid spoilers as much as possible, even though there is a lot of people that have already cleared chapter 22. Well, a lot of people is relative, right? But you get the idea. I'm gonna save Dorothy's burst. Oh, maybe not. Gonna nuke these. Ah, that is annoying. Yoink. Okay. Feel like we're still going to wreck the casino, like Ocean's 11. That is possible. That could be a very lighthearted thing. Mustang cares little about Nikes. He prides himself in the fabulousness of his Tetra girls. What I meant by he cares little about the Nikes is that he cares about them as long as they're useful to humans. If they become useless to humans, he will have zero hesitation in getting rid of them or executing them. He almost says that much during the Sakura event, actually, which is very interesting. Sometimes you can't catch the little details about predecessor. What do you mean, Kudasachi? That's why I'm kind of asking, like, what chapter are you on in the main story, and kind of like which, and maybe even what events have you done? Because Mustang has no predecessor. He has been the head of Tetra since the first Raptor invasion. So technically, there is some weird shenanigans going on in the sense that how the fuck is he still alive? Like, how the fuck is he still alive? How the fuck does he still look so young? And what else is he hiding? Is part of my suspicions as well, right? Because Tetra is the only one of the big three that has not had any change of leadership since basically the arc was created, which is during the first Raptor invasion. Oh, come on. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, the other Nikas are gonna kill the smaller ones. Well, this is an interesting situation. There we go. Nanomachines. Is he secretly a clone? I doubt it, to be honest. But it is possible as well. If he's human, he might just not be that much human anymore. Like, he might just have a bunch of cybernetic implants and whatnot to keep himself alive. Big three means that they're basically the three largest companies by far that control the Ark, and they're the only three that are allowed to manufacture Nikes, basically, Namida. And they're the only ones that manufacture Nikes even since the first Raptor invasion. Even from back then. Missiles started the trials to create Nikes back then. Elysian chipped in, and Tetra kind of, for some reason, also joined in. And my theory is that the guy who was trying to do whistleblowing, saying that the Raptor invasion may be linked to the Big Three, might have been spot on to some extent. Because we have a relic where someone back during the first Raptor invasion talked about how suspicious the big three actually are. Because yeah, the big three are incredibly suspicious. Because for example, one of the points that he brings up is very fair. Like, how in the fuck do you build something the size of the Ark that quickly if, what's it called? If the Rapture invasion came as a surprise? You gotta remember, the Ark is capable of housing millions, even maybe tens of millions of humans before they even started expanding like later years. How do you prepare something that quickly if you were taken by surprise by the Rapture invasion? And very conveniently, the big three have very specific fields, right? Like Tetra has near monopoly on information, news, entertainment, etc. Elysian back then was a private military company, and a very big one at that. And Missiles was a very big technology company that had almost monopoly on technology. And they're the ones who also started doing the Nikke research. Like, it is suspicious that they also managed to somehow find a way to make Nikkes as well, considering how closely linked Nikke technology is to Rapture technology and to Heretics in many ways. There are a lot of mysteries lying around for sure. Like, that's the thing, is that I have a feeling that the big three and the central government elites to some extent are partially responsible for the Rapture invasion in one way or another. How, I don't know, but I think they're linked to it. And I have a feeling that the place they decided to build the Ark at is not a coincidence either. Like, I have this theory personally where the Ark was built in a similar way to the base where the main character of Move Live Alternative operates in, where basically they built the base on top of a hive of the enemy of that specific universe of visual novels and anime. Like, I have a feeling the Ark is somehow related to the secrets behind Raptures, the Rapture Queen and everything, and that's partially why the Red Hood inside of Rappy wants to destroy the Ark. Like, that's my personal theory on that portion. Right. Because there are a lot of very suspicious points, like, in many, many places. Like, the Nymph, the freaking Rapture Queen, the Big Tree, the Legendary Commander going completely MIA after being injured, 2 people with extremely rare blood that is identical to the Legendary Commander popping up out of nowhere. There's so much. It's actually insane. Like, if the Ark, Big Tree, and all of them are innocent, they're doing such a good job at framing themselves, they may as well be a family picture, right? Like, they're doing an excellent job at framing themselves as the very reason why everything went to shit in the world of Nikke. My Snow White somewhat got stunned because I misplayed there. But yeah, like, in terms of theories, that's how it goes, right? At least for me. It's like, there's so many suspicious points. say nanomachines in a way that Mustang would say it. How would Mustang say it? Nanomachines, mon fils. That is what allows me to stay young and strong forever. Maybe something along those lines. Because he does randomly put French inside of his freaking sentences for some reason. Which is very weird. At least to me. Who was that guy behind the arc that calls in Overzone event? Oswald! Oswald, we don't know who he is in the main storyline. He's probably dead in the main storyline. But we might meet some of his descendants, or he might still be alive, who knows, but we know his name at the very least. And we know that he's an absolute twat. But... Did you guys see that? That's part of the reason why I enjoy the Dorothy combo so much. You just burst with Snow White and you can just turn your Snow White burst into an AoE. And it's amazing every single time. Well, we're gonna Shangri-La here just to be able to use Modernia's burst, I guess. Multiple binders, huh? That's gonna be annoying. Oh, and they targeted, of course, they targeted Dorothy. Because why wouldn't they target Dorothy, right? And they target Snow White, okay. Okay, see how it is. There we go. If he is connected to the main story, is Mustang Oswald? That would be very strange. Red Hood and Lilith were sharing their commander. That is possible. We do know that the commander and Lilith were in a relationship, though. That is canon confirmed as well. But yeah, we don't know how Oswald ended up. Dorothy's burst is already an AoE. Yeah, exactly. But what's amazing is that Snow White can power feed that burst so quickly that the damage of your Snow White burst gets turned into an AoE. Trying to push Tori, but apart for the infinite loading screen, it's not damage that's a problem. Your units do crazy damage, but are squishy with 10k Deciphered. Yeah, sometimes your units will feel very, very squishy. It really depends on the enemies you're fighting as well. Like, you guys remember the stage where I had to fight a bunch of laser raptors, right? Like, that is... There's a lot of stages where you will feel very, very squishy. Let's see. God, my computer is being slow today. Well, there's quite a bit of fights left, huh? Until I reach there. I think I'm gonna end it here today, though, because it is Monday, it's not the weekend. And unfortunately, it means that tomorrow morning I have work to do. So, yeah, I'm gonna end it here. And reposting the question, do you have any theories as to what Nia Lister was like when she was a Nikke? She probably was like a... I wouldn't say a normal Nikke. She was definitely not a mass-produced one. Just before I end the stream, right? I will not end the stream just yet, just to answer that question. I believe that she was not a mass-produced Nikke for sure. Like, that is guaranteed she was not a mass-produced Nikke. Because you need to have a certain degree of ego, kind of like, to become a heretic, right? Because the heretic, becoming a heretic is a very similar process to becoming a Nikke. She was probably a regular Nikke, similar to, you know, any of these Nikkes, but more on the militaristic side, maybe, of things. And she was probably betrayed one way or another by the commanders. Or she could have been a human captured back during the first Rapture invasion and turned into a heretic. Or could be a Nikke from way back there that got turned into a heretic, right? Not a human, a Nikke from back during the first Raptor invasion. But she definitely was like a regular Nikke, not a mass-produced one. Probably got sacrificed by Enic, or probably was captured by the Raptors before that, or way before that, and got turned into a heretic after being fed to Material Age. Yeah, she was 100% betrayed. Like, her hatred of humans is definitely, like, there is two things to remember, right? She has hatred for humans, but Modernia to some extent as well. What you gotta remember is that the heretics have, in a sense, Nymph, but that controls them to make them hate humanity, right? Because remember, Modernia wanted to murder us. Modernia wanted to absolutely murder us before we managed to cleanse her through Vapos. And that is a very interesting thing that they did in terms of writing. I'm going to actually showcase this. I'm going to delay going to bed just to show you guys this, which is a very clever plot point that people probably may have missed the first time they saw the story. Because this is what is really interesting, is that the Pilgrims said that they discovered Vapos by pure accident, and that it was the blood of their commander, right? That they mentioned it during, I believe, Purpose or something, when we talked to them. But what is really interesting is then when we're fighting Modernia, which is during Return. Those who don't want spoilers, you might wanna mute the stream or leave the stream or something, or just tell me you don't want spoilers and I won't show the cutscene. I'll give you like a few seconds to say. Okay, I'll continue now. So when we were fighting Modernia, which is during back to beginning, I believe. Was it back to beginning A or B? We were fighting Modernia, and she wanted to absolutely destroy us. So okay, this was, oh god damn it, I did not mean to press that. This was not the cutscene I was looking for. Back to the beginning B, I guess then it was. So Modernia here wants to absolutely, you gotta go get food. See you later, Zephyr. So she really wanted to murder us. Like, she actually tried to kill us. And she stabbed us, right? Like, first she wants to pretend that she's she tries to pull a trick on us by pretending that she's Marion, right? Like, she tries to trick us, and we don't fall for the trick. That is important. Okay, see you later, Zephyr. So we don't fall for the trick. So she impales Rappy with the tentacles, but because Rappy is Red Hood and has no nymph, etc., she's basically immune to the tentacle attack of Modernia of trying to absorb her. So we shoot Modernia. So we shoot Modernia with the Vapos bullet, but Modernia just caught the bullet with her teeth and just spits it out. She doesn't give a fuck. Right? And she stabs us in the stomach. So that means that she's covered with our blood all over the place, on top of having slightly hit by the Vapos bullet, right? What I believe is that the Vapos bullet didn't do anything to Modernia. She stabbed us in the stomach, right? And as they fight, she gets injured. Rappy goes Red Hood mode, etc. And let's continue. Maybe I'm misremembering the cutscene, right? But she stabs us. She's covered in our blood. She's fighting the thing. We get the famous cutscene with the mystery girl. By the way, this is a fully modeled Nikke model, by the way. This is a unique Nikke model. We don't know what she looks like though, but this is a fully modeled character. If you look at it. And she recovers, right? She never got hit by the Vapo's bullet. She never got hit by the Vapo's bullet. Like, you can go back. Like, you can go back. And she spit the freaking Vapo's bullet. The only thing that hit her were regular bullets, and she was covered in her blood, right? And she somehow becomes Marion again, right? And she does her best to actually save us. The moment she doesn't have the thing that controls her anymore, like the corrupted nymph, she basically tries to save us. She doesn't hate humanity anymore. She doesn't try to murder us anymore. And then right after that cutscene, we get this cutscene where Anderson comes and says basically that we have special blood. And he does blood transfusion. So, blood transfusion, etc. It's a very rare blood type, quite a coincidence. He says, who knows? Do you think it's a coincidence? And now you can have like both options. Where he basically says, please don't say... he doesn't say melodramatic. He says, please don't say that something that's scary. I'm still single. Basically implying that he's also not that old. But yeah, like, we never shot Marion with the Vapo's bullet. We got impaled by Marion and covered her with blood. And right afterwards, we have Anderson that says we have special blood. Later on, we go and meet the pilgrims, right? So we meet the pilgrims. So we talk with the pilgrims about it. And they say it was by accident that they found it during the fight with one of the heretics, that someone's blood had a special effect on heretics. The blood. And they found out that the blood could be used as a weapon against the heretics. The commander of Goddess Squad had that special blood. And that's what we learned, right? So we learned that a bullet made out of a special blood in chapter 17 is capable of removing what controls heretics and what makes them special and strong, which is related to Rapture technology and is also related directly to the nymph of Nikkes. So we had that hint when we had the fight with Modernia. We had Anderson reiterate that hint. Then we have the hint during the Pilgrim encounter. And then we have the health checkup after the fight with Nihilister, where we go back to Eden. Right, we go back to Eden. And Cecil basically approaches and says that I want to make a bloodline with you. What she says is basically, I want to make a health checkup on you. Wink, wink. And she's going to basically analyze your blood. Because she heard the conversation that we had with Nihilister and about Chatterbox. And she says, your blood type, was it ever saved in a database? So we get the flashback towards this moment. No information on the blood type. So that means that someone is keeping that information away. And Anderson either stumbled upon that investigating our background or already knew. I would personally think it's the former rather than the latter, but that's my personal theory. And here, we basically say, like, we don't know our blood type. And she basically says, like, yeah, there's someone who is protecting you. There's someone that is protecting us, because keeping that level of data a secret when someone is a military commander. She got shot by Vapos, but either it didn't remove completely the effects because the bullet that... it is implied that the bullet that we used... I'll explain that later, right? So RHX is the Vapos blood. So we learned that our blood is what makes Vapouse. This is where my theory about them beating the heretic, the legendary commander being grievously wounded, etc. And then we learned about the Vapouse, right? So now we learned that we have the legendary blood that creates Vapouse. Now, the thing about Vapouse is during one of these cutscenes, I don't remember which one, Cecil basically says that the bullet that they got from the facility was not nearly of the same quality as the one that was given to us by Snow White, or at least didn't have that thing. So, the heretic Anakiro that is mentioned in chapter 19 is the heretic that they defeated, most likely. It is the heretic that allowed Goddess Squad to discover the special blood of the commander. That is my personal theory about Anakiro. So Vapouse destroys the nymph, but you have to get the effects on them. Maybe she still really hated humans, or maybe the Vapouse didn't have enough effect because either the bullet was not good enough, or did not have like enough time to make full effect, or she still despises humans. It had effect, and she still kind of wants to kill us, right? Like those are multiple options, because we don't know for how long Nihilister has been a thingy. Yeah, Nikelor goes pretty hard. Like, if you actually want to look by detail and really pay attention to the story, it can be like almost Dark Souls levels of lore, right? Like it goes that much. But yeah, like during one of these, Cecil mentions the possibility that Vapouse bullets that they got from the facility were not as high quality as the ones that Snow White provided us. That is a possibility. My personal theory is that also the fact that we splattered Marion in our own blood kind of helped, expedite the process of ending the corrupted nymph that she had. We call it corrupted nymph, but it's basically probably the nymph as it was originally meant to be. Cecil also mentions that nymph, we don't know where it comes from officially from the inside of the arc. We don't know where it comes from, and we don't know how it works, but we kind of tweaked it to be able to control Nikes, right? And it's incredibly volatile. Nihilister first appeared during the second Surface Reclamation campaign. Okay, so if she's from that era, she's basically roughly from the era where Johan got betrayed and got turned into a marked as a traitor, was almost eliminated by the central government, and then ended up joining Eden. So Nihilister first appeared during that time period, so at a minimum, she was turned into a heretic back then, if not even earlier. Oh yeah, there's so much lore drop. Like Nihilister, during her liberation, just dropped some... It's not even lore bombs, she just dropped fucking lore nuke on our asses. I wish I had access to the cutscene to show you guys what I mean by a lore nuke. But what she said basically is that the process of becoming a heretic is a unknown process that doesn't make much sense, but where the Nikke that is being turned into a heretic, or the person that is being turned into a heretic, has a strong wish or a strong fixation that grants her a mysterious power and basically gets turned into a heretic. And Annis, I don't have Nihilister yet, but I am working on Nihilister. Hi Wolfef, nice to see you in chat. I think you're new actually. So Nihilister dropped this nuke where she says this, and if you guys remember from both Overzone, when Dorothy and Rapunzel were chatting about how Rapunzel got her power to jam the raptors around her to protect people, and also Annis, Rappy, and Neon went really quiet as well when Nihilister dropped this lore nuke, because that process is identical. It's the exact same process. So yeah, I'm progressing Nihilister. It's the exact same process that Nikkes, when they're created, go through. The exact same one. So I'll also show you guys something interesting as well. Is that if you guys go through Marian's Bond story, you have a question? The brain condition that Nikke have actually affect what they become? Probably does. It's probably the justification as well as to why we don't have mass-produced Nikkes being turned into heretics, but rather are used as fodder to feed a kind of stronger Nikke into turning into a heretic. So if we go to, I think it was her secret. So let me try to see if I can get to the thing. Because in her lore story, they try to take some samples of Marian's like tissues and blood and everything to have an idea of what happened to her that made her into a heretic, right? Because she was originally a Nikke, so they kind of want to understand what is going on. So we get a message from Ingrid. We go to MMR, which is the research department of, I believe, missiles. And her fluids are nothing special, basically the same as any other Nikke. Her skin tissues are different, so they managed to snag some of it when she was not paying attention. When she's actively trying to protect herself, she becomes basically almost invulnerable. That's like her power as a heretic. The tissue materials are completely fused together with Rapture material. This is what they're saying, right? It's as if Rapture makeup has filled the missing parts of her composition, or the other way around. Like, they don't really know what's going on. But they do say one thing is that the fused material is close to perfection. It's really, really good in terms of technology. It's basically so amazing in terms of technology that it would just jumpstart the technology 100 years into the future, as they say. That combining Nikke and Raptures, it's possible to make up of like the issues of either. And Mana says something very important here, is as if it was always made to be like this. So they're saying that heretics are the full package that it was always meant to be. Like that is how actually the technology was meant to be used or made or whatever. And that Raptures are one half of the incomplete technology and Nikkes are the other half of the incomplete technology. So Ingrid immediately puts a stop to this and basically says dispose of everything. And remember, Ingrid is the head of one of the big three. And I've mentioned that I find the big three incredibly suspicious. So she may have, I wouldn't say a rough idea because maybe her predecessors already got rid of some of the evidence, but she may have a rough idea of where this thread of thought would go based on what maybe she knows, right? So that's a theory that I personally have. At least Nikke lore makes sense while holding the mysteriousness. I mean, that's true. But yeah, like that is something to keep in mind, is that the method of making heretics is identical in the process. Thank you for your time and sorry for delaying your sleep. Yeah, no problem. I enjoy talking about lore so much. I've actually been considering making some lore videos at some point once I have the time and maybe a little bit more time to edit videos, or at least prepare a formal script to talk about all of these things in a clearer way about the lore and make videos about it. Like it's something that has been in the back of my mind, and someone also mentioned it to me. You hate your luck. I mean, you've had some good luck recently, so I wouldn't say you should hate it. Just embrace it. Yes, do it. Yeah, I'm most likely gonna do it for sure. But yeah, I quite enjoy the Nikke lore because you have so many snippets of information everywhere that just tie so many things together. Yeah, that's true. Actually, Maybe during the week or the weekend I'll try to make a lore video about some of this stuff. I'll have to go through my VODs and have a rough idea of what would be interesting to talk about though. Because I tend to just chat without, I wouldn't say without thinking, but just like jump back, bounce back off like questions and stuff that people mention, rather than bringing it up myself and thinking too deeply about what I want to share and what I don't share, right? But I really like this style where you have so much information from all of these relics, along with a lot of things. But yeah, I'll definitely start doing some of that for sure. I'll have to figure out the format though and how to do it because my video editing skills are at negative levels, right? The few videos that have some, the videos that I have that have editing one way or another, so far I've done it with Movie Maker, believe it or not. Or basically the modern equivalent of Movie Maker by Microsoft Windows. So yeah, I need to figure out how to do a little bit better video editing as well, or how I want to do it. Or maybe do it without video editing, but just figure out how to do it one way or another. You pulled a Horan? That's pretty lucky. Actually very lucky. Horan is amazing. Negative levels, like you have no idea. Like, if my paint skills for making the guides for the relics in my community post wasn't an indication, I have no Photoshop skills, and I have no real video editing skills either. Like, it's not my field of expertise yet, because I've barely started content creation. What I just did was basically, I want to make content, I'm just going to jump in and learn along the way, right? Because I'm enjoying this game so much, I want to make some content for it. And that's how this whole channel kind of started. At first it was just sharing stuff with some people that I knew on Discord, and over time I saw that some people would comment on it because I made the videos public. And I was like, there's people that take interest and that also want to nerd out about, you know, all of this stuff, like, and that's how I started the channel. I mean the content creation part, like just sharing more and more stuff. You know a channel that create Nickelore? Interesting. I'm not about to copy his format though. I'll try to figure out like my own style for sure. But that is quite interesting. I figured there would at least be one channel that talks about the lore, like out there somewhere. But maybe he's not, I don't know, putting himself out there enough just yet. I will try to figure out one way of doing it though, because I am more and more interested in sharing these type of theories, right, about the lore. Oops, sorry about that. Holographic Sun. I'll check him out. Oh, anyways, enough about all of this. I will second limit break Horan. Ooh, nice. I will go to bed now though. Mostly pilgrim stuff. Yeah, I'm going to talk about just about anything that I can think of in terms of Nickelore if I start doing videos on that. And I probably will start pretty soon doing that anyways, because it is something that deeply interests me. But yeah, I'm going to go to bed for now. Thanks a lot for joining, and I really appreciate the support. Check out the videos, be on the lookout. Soda Full Bound Story will come out during this week, thanks to winning the popularity poll inside of the chat from last time. So that will be the next Bond story. And otherwise, thanks a lot for the support, and have a good night, or a good day. You're subbing here before it was 100k. I wish I could hit that level of success. But yeah, let's try to get 1k first. 1k is when I can even start monetizing and add some more cool stuff for the channel based on what YouTube allows me to do. Anyways, thanks a lot and have a good one. And see you guys next time. Good night.